The next step after the formation of pre-initiation complex is the promoter escape. The formation of pre-initiation complex follows a period of abortive initiation before the polymerase escapes the promoter and enters the elongation phase. So, after the formation of initiation complex, there is some period of abortive initiation, and then this complex enters the elongation phase. During abortive initiation, the polymerase synthesizes a series of short transcripts of RNA. In eukaryotes, promoter escape involves two steps which are not seen in bacteria. So, one is the ATP hydrolysis, and this ATP hydrolysis is different from that ATP hydrolysis which has taken place during melting of the DNA strand. So, this ATP hydrolysis is different from that. And the other is phosphorylation of the polymerase. So, these two steps are present in case of eukaryotes, that is ATP hydrolysis and phosphorylation of polymerase. The larger subunit of polymerase II has a carboxy terminal domain, that is CTD, which is referred to as the tail. The CTD contains a series of repeats of the heptapeptide sequence, and this heptapeptide sequence it includes tyrosine, serine, proline, threonine, serine, proline, and serine. So there are about 27 of such repeats in the yeast pole 2 CTD, 32 in the worm C. elegans, 45 in the fly Drosophila, and 52 in humans. So the number of these heptapeptide repeats is different in different organisms. Thus, the number of repeats correlates with the complexity of the genome. It is related with the size and complexity of genome. Each repeat contains sites for phosphorylation by specific kinases, including one that is a subunit of TF2H. So these repeats contain some sites where the phosphate group can be added, that is phosphorylation can take place. The form of pole 2 recruited to the promoter initially contains a largely unphosphorylated tail, but the species found in the elongation complex bears multiple phosphoryl groups on the tail. So in the initiation complex, the tail of this pole is largely unphosphorylated, that is no phosphate group is attached to the tail of polymerase. But when this complex or when this polymerase is in the elongation phase, the tail is mostly phosphorylated. Many phosphate groups are attached to the tail. Addition of these phosphates helps polymerase shed most of the journal transcription factors used for initiation, and which the enzyme leaves behind as it escapes the promoter. So, what is the significance of this phosphorylation? So, when the pre-initiation complex is formed, many journal transcription factors are involved in the formation of this complex. But when the polymerase has to enter the elongation phase, the polymerase has to shed many of these journal transcription factors. So this phosphorylation, this addition of phosphate groups, it helps the polymerase to shed these journal transcription factors. Regulating the phosphorylation state of the CTD of polymerase II controls subsequent steps, that is elongation and even processing of the RNA. So this phosphorylation also helps the pole in elongation and processing of RNA. Indeed, In addition to TF2H, several other kinases have been identified that act on the CTD, as well as a number of phosphatases that remove the phosphates added by those kinases. So there are many kinases which add phosphate groups to the tail of pole 2, and there are many phosphatases which are responsible for the removal of these phosphates from the tail of pole 2.